Using Omega to combat Shinryu went as planned. The only problem is that the whereabouts of the two is unknown. As for Baelsar's Wall, the Eorzean Alliance had to stay and take control of it after the stunt Ilberd pulled. Now we have to wait and see how the Empire will respond to our attacks. Baelsar's Wall exists as a marking to show where the Empire's territory lies, and to keep Eorzeans out. To the Empire, it would seem like the Alliance is setting up for an invasion. Even after everything that has happened, the Alliance does not want to fight for Gyr Abania, not unless the people consent to their actions. That is why they want the Scions of the Seventh Dawn to act as intermediaries, to judge or convince the people to fight with the Alliance and want their freedom. Lys has a connection to the Resistance. She will be a vital point to this operation. Alphinaud will join her as he loves to be the diplomat. Y'shtola and Kryl will aid with the healing. The Warrior of Light and Alisaie will come along too, as there may be upcoming battles where they will be in need of our strength. Urianger and Thancred will stay behind and be caretakers for the Waking Sands. We are preparing to leave for Gyr Abania. We bid farewell to Tataru, as we will be leaving her behind in the Rising Stone. Yugiri and Gosetsu have also come to say goodbye. She thanks us for everything we've done for her and her people. Without us, who knows what would have happened to the Domans? But it is time they went home. Their master calls for them to return. Even though we fight on two different sides of the world, we fight for the same reason: liberation and freedom.
I remember crossing the border, standing in Gyr Abania once more. Me and my fellow scions, the Warrior of Light among us. Behind us, Baelsar's Wall cutting the land in two. Freedom on one side, tyranny on the other. Tyranny and the promise of a new beginning. But one that could only be bought with flames and blood. I remember the old stories, how the Breaker of Worlds came down from on high and cleft the earth with a single blow. Rhalga's Reach, a holy place and a fitting home for the Resistance, for the brave and the true, the loyal sons and daughters of Ala Mhigo. They were waiting for us there, men and women whose souls still cried out for what was lost, for what could be ours again.
The first place we set foot in is a place known as Rhalga's Reach. This place was built by the monks of the Fist of Rhalga after the 6th Umbral Calamity. They followed a light which guided them away from the floods. After that, they devoted themselves to Rhalga and tempered their bodies and spirits to grow closer to the deity. Rhalga is one of the 12, specifically the god of destruction, and he is the guardian deity of Ala Mhigo. We are introduced to a man known as Conrad Kemp, and he is the leader overseeing the operations here in Rhalga's Reach. We thank him for looking after Lys and Papalamo whilst they hid from everything that happened after the bloody banquet. This is the best time to kick the Empire out of Gyr Abania. We have to do this ourselves, and not leave it to people like Ilberd, who are willing to sacrifice innocent people and take any extreme measures to get what they want. That is why we are here. We are here on behalf of the Eorzean Alliance, to offer a military assistance to the Ala Mhigan resistance. We tell them about what the missive said, and how the Alliance wants to expel the Imperial presence from Gyr Abania. They will discuss between themselves about the offer, and see if it is worth accepting their proposal. After some thinking, Conrad calls for us to come back. They have reached a consensus. They will accept the Alliance's proposal, but it will come with some conditions. The thing is that the Resistance has not got a lot of power for themselves. Yes, he has many people, but they are not united under one faction, meaning he can only guarantee aid from the people of Rhalgr's reach. All he can do is appeal to the other groups, but there may not be universal support. On top of that, a lot of their veteran warriors left with the Griffin and died on Baelsar's Wall. They had to replace their numbers with younger and more inexperienced folk. To aid with their personnel shortage, we will each be helping in our own way. Krile and Justola will help in the infirmary. Alphino will go to the Rising Stones and ask the other Scions if they would like to help fight for the liberation of Ala Mhigo. As for the rest of us, we will learn what we need to do from Menaga and Methrid. Menaga wants us to escort her to Castrum Oriens to deliver Conrad's formal reply to Rauban. We battle whatever Imperials we see on the way until we meet Rauban. She gives him the missive. Rauban is happy to hear that they have accepted their proposal, but he did not know about the caveats stated prior. Their finest died at Baelsar's Wall, and since word has spread about the massacre, it has become harder to recruit new members as nobody is willing to join them anymore. They do not want to fight and die for nothing. We need to rekindle the hope in the people's hearts, just as we did for Hraesvelgir. Pippin suggests that we fight the Garleans in the open, to show that the Resistance is strong and able to fight the Imperials. Just one victory is all we need. The plan Pippin has come up with is to destroy prototype Magitech weapons. We bait a nearby patrol by laying Imperial bodies in the middle of the road, whilst we wait for them in the bushes. The one leading the patrol is the very same person who stopped us in the Cartanu Flats, Grinwat. We engage them and come out victorious. The Magitech Predator is no more. Grinwat retreats upon its defeat. It is a victory for Ala Mhigo. May word spread of their victory. With our task with Menaga done, we are now helping Methrid. Methrid wants us to accompany him to Alagana in search of new recruits for the Resistance. It is also the birthplace of Lys. We ask the sentry out front to remove the barrier and allow us access to the peaks.
I remember the peaks of Gyr Abania, silent watchmen that would stand long after we were gone. We came seeking allies to join us in the fight against the Empire. People who had had enough. People who had suffered every possible indignity, who had been treated like animals, day after day after day.
Removing the barrier brings us to a destroyed temple, one of the temples of the Fist of Rhalgr, which Mad King Theodoric destroyed. Lys spots a gigantic spire which pierces the skyline of the peaks, reminding us that the Empire is still in Gyr Abania. We head east to Alagana to try and find any recruits if possible. We save a merchant named Werkrata. He hurried away to give the Imperials their delivery. To make sure he is safe, we tailed behind him, but we cannot intervene. He is stopped by a group of Ala Mhigan conscripts. They are known as the Skulls. They start beating him, as they don't believe he is giving the Empire enough coin. It was meant to be a fifth of everything they have. Lys tries to go help him, but is stopped by Methrid. Can she kill all of them? What about the ones watching in the tower nearby? They'll come after him and his family, condemning them to a life of labor, assuming that they don't just execute them. She listens to him and regrettably backs down, claiming that it is unfair. The Skulls continue to relentlessly beat an unarmed Werkrata until their leader tells them to stop. Werkrata should be lucky that he gets to go home alive. We should do the same. The Ala Mhigan Royal Palace are singing a sort of pseudo-anthem for Garlemald. It's not their anthem, but it's a song which incorporates the Ala Mhigo anthem with their own words added instead. They are singing this as their ruler, Xenos Yegalvus, is walking through the streets of Ala Mhigo. Xenos takes his place on the throne. One of the Imperial leaders is reporting about the prototype Magitech Vanguard we destroyed. Their unit had near total casualties, bar one who was Grinwat. Their unit was ambushed by Eorzean Alliance regulars, aided by the Resistance. Grinwat is kicked out of the 13th. The army has no need for cowards. Indeed, they have no need for cowards. Xenos rises to his feet, grasps a nearby blade, and walks up to the commander. He swings his blade at him, killing him instantly. Cowards who give missions to their subordinates, who hide in their castra never fighting. Why did they lose the wall to the Alliance? It's because his father won't let them march onto their lands. He asked the rest of his hounds, how should they deal with the savages? Nobody speaks up, except for the Skull's leader we saw earlier. The other leaders tell her to know her place. We don't want to hear a proposal from an Alamegan savage. Xenos allows her to speak, as the savage wants to hunt her own kind. Pippin wants to gather intelligence on the Imperials. He wants us to accompany him to Castellium Velodina to observe and see if anything of interest occurs. Our gathering is interrupted by the sounds of cannon fire. Alize spots smoke coming from Rhalga's Reach. We must return there, now. The Skulls are attacking Rhalga's Reach directly, slaying their own kin. Methrid confronts Fordola, but his skills are no match for hers, and is slain. Lys sees him get struck down, and in a fit of rage rushes down Fordola. Fordola is unable to dodge her attacks, and is sent backwards. Xenos sees the potential in Lys, and wants to fight her directly, stating that this one has promise. Don't disappoint me, girl, or you will die. She lands blow after blow, but they are all ineffective. With a single swing of Xenos' blade, she is sent off of her feet. She is about to be struck down, but Y'shtola gets in between them with the magic barrier. But the barrier is nothing in front of Xenos. He shatters the barrier with ease and cuts down Y'shtola, delivering a fatal blow, as she lifelessly falls to the floor. Conrad commands the rest of them to hold the line, but is suddenly struck from behind by Fordola. We need to hurry. Outside of Rhalga's Reach we spot Kryl and some survivors of the attack. We need to know what is happening in there. It is a bloody massacre. The only reason they were able to escape is because Lys and Conrad bought them time. Neither of them have left since. Escort the survivors to the wall. We will join the battle in Rhalga's Reach. If we can hold the Imperials there, then maybe we can get reinforcements from Rawban. As late as ever we arrive in Rhalga's Reach. Lys is tied up, and Y'shtola has a fatal wound. Alphino and Krill begin to heal Y'shtola and Conrad. Fordola tries to stop them but is sent away by Xenos. He approaches us, calling our friends a disappointment, asking if we will entertain him instead. We begin to do battle, but he is way too strong. Stronger than any primal we have fought so far. Our moves are ineffective against his might. He dashes towards us and delivers an attack which causes his weapon to split in two. He calls us pathetic and leaves. The rest of the Imperials follow him and leave just as Rawban arrives. He wants to fight, to get revenge. But the wounded come first. We will make him pay for what he has done. It is not normal for someone to best us in battle. Who or what is he? Kryl and Alphino are still healing Y'shtola and Conrad. They have been healing them since they got here. Kryl reassures Lys that Y'shtola will live. She has done all she can for now, and it is time to bring these two to an infirmary. There they will have access to equipment to better treat them with. They can handle this without us, and ask us to gather the rest of the wounded we can find nearby. What a devastating attack. This blow has crippled Rhalga's Reach. The Resistance were already in a bad shape when we got here, but this might truly be the final nail in the coffin. We will have to face this bitter reality head on, and find a path forward. Conrad has made a full recovery. He thanks the Scions and the Alliance for their aid. If it wasn't for us, they would have probably been wiped out from their attack. Conrad cannot look forward. His morale is depleted. He'll always hate the Empire for what they've done, but he cannot fight anymore. Monago interrupts Conrad's speech, asking him what was it all for? What will he tell the families of the dead? Will he tell them that it was all for naught? We cannot let their sacrifices be in vain. Now is the time to fight. Till when? When Xenos brings his army once more, it'll be impossible to find men brave enough to join now anyhow. Xenos' strength is quite a mystery. He defeated all of the Scions with ease. Apparently, he single-handedly led an army to Doma, where he crushed the rebellion. Doma is still in his charge today. How do we defeat such a foe? How about we fight on Doma territory? That way Xenos will be spread thin, fighting a war in both Gyr Abania and Doma. It is a sound plan, but the resistance doesn't even have the strength to fight anymore. But he will have to hold fast and try to rebuild. Wait for the right time to strike. We speak with the Doman refugees to get an understanding on where Doma is and what would be the best way to get there. We are told to procure a boat and head for a place known as Kugane. We ask to borrow a boat from Linza Lominza and are given the misery. Urianger is glad that he made it in time. He came here to give us a warning. Look ye where the sun doth rise. See crimson embers, darkening skies. Look ye where the sun doth fall. See azure lost amidst the squall. A prophecy, a very cryptic one at that. We shouldn't dwell on it too much. It is just meant to serve as a guide on our journey. He has also brought Alize a new weapon, a rapier forged of aether crystals. Creating a blade of aether is very costly on the wielder, but this rapier should be just as powerful as the one she forges. The blade is specifically attuned to her aether. The misery is about to depart, and we bid Urianger farewell and finally start our journey to Kugane. Our voyage has been going quite smoothly thus far, just relaxing in our quarters. The misery starts shaking violently. What was that? It has been forcefully dragged off course. Something mysterious can be seen in the water below. Those mysterious beings belong to Seawolf superstition. They are known to be souls of the women who lure sailors out to their death. Our only path is to allow ourselves to be dragged to their den. Then once we are there, we will deal with whatever lies in front of us. In the Sirensong Sea, we are forced to face a multitude of foes, along with the Siren, Lorelei. With the Sirensong Sea cleared out, the dark skies that once shrouded this land is gone. Sunlight is finally touching the ground below for the first time in who knows how long. It'll be best if we regroup back on the misery. We can finish the rest of our journey to Kugane. Who knows what awaits us in the port city.